Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Matt. Matt is from New York in the USA. So let's see what Mark has to say. Enjoy the interview.
Well, hello.
Hello Matt, how are you?
I'm good. What part of the world are you in?
I'm in London, the UK.
That's right, you told me that. But are you Portuguese? Are you Brazilian?
I'm from Brazil, originally from Brazil, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So when I say obrigado, at least I'm not saying in the wrong direction.
Correct, very correct. Obrigado.
Obrigado. I know other words too, but we'll get into that later.
So how are you doing today, Matt? How's your day been so far?
I'm doing very well. I'm down here in Orlando, Florida for a little bit of work, and but I've been doing some work with some of the folks here doing Gay Days events. So it's a big deal down here.
Wow. And
Yeah,
tell me where you're from originally.
Los Angeles.
And that's the place where you're based? Not right now, but that's the place where you live or not?
No, I'm a California girl, but I left and moved to New York City back in 2013, and then and so stayed in the city for a few years. And then my husband and I we decided to buy a house, and we moved to Allentown, which is like 2 hours away.
Okay. And are you planning to stay there for a long while?
I think so. I enjoy it. We both enjoy it. His family lives out there as well, so we've just got ourselves nicely settled there. And plus, I have lots of space.
Besides the weather, what's the biggest difference between California state and New York state?
Well, the weather's one of my favorites, so I'm not going to ignore that completely. See, I come from a place where there was no seasons, just a little bit. I always felt like there were seasons, but now that
Uh-huh.
I live in the Northeast, I love snow in the winter. I love the flowers when they're blooming in the spring, and the colors in the fall. So I love all that, and that's some of my favorite stuff. But other than that, just think a big difference is the people, just in the sense that the cultures are, like especially when you're in the Northeast, it's much more like New York and go go go, and people are much more right there in your face. While in California, it's a lot more laid back, and it's rude just to enter in someone's conversation in California.
Oh, interesting. And what do you do for work, for living, Matt?
It's been the same thing for like almost 30 years. I help companies figure out how to reach LGBT people on the internet. So back in the early days, I started a website called gaywire.com. So I started that. We thought everyone would do it, and they didn't. And we became one of the largest LGBT websites out there. And we sold it in 2006. And so ever since, I've been just kind of working with clients as a consultant, just kind of helping them navigate and figure out how do I reach and target gays, lesbians, transgender people on the internet.
Oh, wow. But
Yeah,
that's those companies, they are not part of the LGBTQ community.
some are, some are larger, and even if they are larger, like American Airlines or U.S. Bank or some of the larger organizations, they still have a very strong LGBT contingent within their company, especially that's represented through their diversity and inclusion initiatives, and they're called employee resource groups. And so there's always a visibility in the LGBT world, and that's probably more important than ever before now that everything is going crazy out here in the world.
Absolutely. So if I would like to get the show William the Magic Box in a bigger proportion, you are the right person to talk to.
Perhaps I am. Yeah, this is. I will just the one thing I'll say. I'm very good at this, so I can definitely help you.
Amazing. We might work together. I'm looking for a boss to run the Magic Box.
Ah, well, and that's always important because before I was introduced to you, and I could see that Instagram. See, everybody loves Instagram. It's everyone's favorite. But in our opinion, in order to be able to really break out and be noticed, you have to go outside of that. And so if you were on Twitter and LinkedIn and those places, I would have seen you already. I would have known who you are, and so I can help you with that as well.
Amazing. So we might talk about business sometime and we can, we might be working together. Imagine.
I'd like that.
Amazing. Matt, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
I'm an open book.
Amazing. You are in the right place.
Yeah.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got here my best friend. okay, floor for the fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
You got it.
Let's do it. Okay, Matt, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Yes.
First question for you is, which book had a big influence on you?
Oh, I was a kid and I always remembered, and I need to remember exactly why, but it was On Watership Down, or Watership Down. It was I remember it was a book, little rabbits living all together and going through adversity. And I just remember after when I was reading it, and I was probably like 10 years old or something, and I just remember feeling very strongly about what I had just read, and thought, and never forgot that feeling. Just always remembered that.
Tell me how was growing up as a gay boy back in California?
Yeah, well, it's just as difficult. I grew up in Los Angeles, and so big city, but it was just as hard as it would be in other places, especially in the 70s and 80s. And and uh, and of course, there's no roadmap. There are no icons. There's nothing. So I wasn't really sure. You know, I'm starting to have these feelings, but am I gay, or maybe just I haven't tried going out with girls. Maybe I need to give this a try here or there. And so it was just a process, and it took a while because I had to do it all by myself. But then when I did, I came out with flying colors. So
And did your family support you at the time?
friends did, yeah. So as I started to come out to some of my friends, that it's one of those things that they, in fact, the closest ones appreciated that I was being honest with them and telling them that. And with family, it was a journey, different people at different times, but it all worked.
I see. Very good. Next question. Let's do it.
Mhm.
Next question for you is, what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
I'm spoiled rotten, so there's so little on my bucket list left. So because I'm all about, like, in my world, it's like, I would just say, balancing personal life and business life. And so I feel like I've achieved a lot of what I was really setting out to accomplish in the business world. And personally, I mean, I'm happy, I'm married, I have a wonderful husband, I have my house. So the only things that are left are just exploring. We travel a lot. So continuing to explore corners of the world that we haven't, I love history. So on my bucket list of travel would be the Silk Route, and going into some of those areas, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, that I'm not always 100% sure I should be going to just yet, but I would, between now and over the next 10 years, I would love to find a way to do things like that.
Where are you planning to go for your next vacation?
Oh, I'm going to Greece. We're taking my mother-in-law on a cruise. My husband and I, so the three of us are going on a Greek cruise from
Wow.
Athens, and we're going to go to places I've always wanted to go, such as Rhodes and so forth. So that comes up later this summer. I'm very much looking forward to that.
My God, I can tell you, summer now here in Europe, I mean, yeah, it's already hitting.
Excellent. Well, Greece
I
is going
think,
to be hot.
yes, it's being actually, I mean, Greece, most of the time, Greece is a
Yeah.
different comparing, but yeah, it's the spring is already on, and there are a few warm days already. Sometimes the evening is still a bit cold, but during the day, it's been sunny almost every day.
Yeah.
Next question. Let's do
Yes,
it.
sir.
Right, before the next question, tell me what's the best parts of your business? What do you like the most about it?
Um, I think it's success. And what I like about the success is like when you work with a client and they want to reach a certain type of LGBT, like maybe gay travelers or and so forth. I get very happy when we're able to successfully find them, target them, and then when the client's message is something that these people resonate with, and so they get good performance. That probably makes me happier than anything. And of course, then from there, secondarily, the money comes in all by itself. So I enjoy that.
And the flip side, what do you find most challenging?
For right now, I think the most challenges are two things. Number one, the corporate world that typically has spent a lot of money, especially during Pride Month. They've definitely pulled back because of all the things that are going on. So unfortunately, that's going to hurt everyone in the LGBT media world. But also, we do a lot on Twitter, and on Twitter, it's very successful for us, and we're doing extremely well. And getting our message out there reaches great people. But there's still some individuals that are concerned about, because it's wide open and there's hate speech is much easier to be able to post out there and so forth. And of course, Elon Musk also says things that make people want to quit Twitter. So unfortunately, I have to deal with all that stuff. And so it's just one of those things that I call them headwinds. So the headwinds are there, strong now, but we're just going to continue to push through and see what it looks like on the other side.
Amazing. Next question for you is, if you could ask for a miracle, what that would be?
Oh, a miracle. The miracle would be that I'd be able to have a nice, peaceful a journey through life here between now and the next, like, say, 20 years before I have to stop and retire and not do anything anymore. And because I feel like it's going to be a turbulent 20s in this decade. And so the miracle would be if all of that stopped and we were able to have a very nice, successful, plentiful time and with a lot of happiness. So I'm trying to make that happen regardless.
Matt, you are the kind of person that, being a businessman, you are kind of always on the go, or you can separate. For example, if you have a day off, you can literally disconnect from your business and enjoy the day, or it's still on, it still cannot be connected somehow.
Guilty. I'm always on, always. But I do mix my personal and business life 100% of the time, all the time, which just simply means that I don't really feel a need. Because probably I enjoy the work so much. So I don't always feel a need to disconnect, but I do try to definitely work until about 5 o'clock and then stop so I can enjoy dinner, enjoy an evening with my husband. And so, but every day, even I'm always on social media for work perspective, and I'm always answering emails, no matter if it's Sunday. And I need to stop that someday, but I haven't figured out how.
All right. Next question. Let's do it. Right. Next question is, what did you want to be growing up?
Oh, I watched the movie Top Gun, and so I wanted to be an Air Force pilot. And but then I found out I was slightly colorblind, not too much, but just enough to make it so I could never fly an airplane. So I actually went and got my degree in aerospace engineering. So I figured if I can't fly them, I'll figure out how to make them, how to build them. So that was my career in life before I started in all this gay internet stuff.
Oh, wow. And how did this new career came along? When the idea started?
Yeah, it's really it's because I was an engineer. I had a great job, but I got bored really quick, and I was working in the lab, research and development. So I went from there into the sales side of what I was working on, and this whole thing wasn't so much building airplanes; it was building lasers. But there's a lot of aerospace technology that goes into lasers. So I was building lasers, and then I was out selling them to big companies that use these lasers for manufacturing. So I was used to technology, and I loved going out and talking to people about it. And then the internet came along, and I thought, well, I can either build something for this laser and manufacturing world, or maybe I could build something that's near and dear to my heart, but I know nobody. It would be totally brand new. So let's just create this gay website that has resources so people can find different things out there online. And I did that and went that direction. And it started to take off. And 2 years after I started it, I quit my full-time job. And, that was paying my mortgage, my bills. I had a company car, and I gave all that up and went into my own business. And it was probably the best decision I ever made.
Wow. Beautiful. Ready for another question?
Yes.
Let's do it. Next one. Next question for you is, what would be the title of your memoir?
Oh, The Cynical Optimist.
Tell me about it.
Well, I'm always going to be optimistic, no matter how bad things are, because I can see the good and the bad in humanity and society and so forth. But especially nowadays, they call Generation X the cynical generation, or at least they used to. And there's a good reason for that, because we're better prepared for all the craziness going on, so that when things are not always great, the cynical side of us says, yeah, I expected this was going to happen, and we're going to get through it anyway.
Matt, tell me, what's the best part of being yourself? When you analyze yourself, what do you think is the best thing about being you?
I think it's just that I genuinely like people, and so if my husband and I can be a little bit of the opposite sometimes. So if we go to an event, a business, especially a business networking event, he's got anxiety. He's going, who do I know? And what am I going to talk about? And I'm excited and like a little puppy with my tail wagging, and I'm just jumping in and I say, hi, my name's Matt, and, and just start going at it. And so, but I enjoy that through all parts of life. And so that's also why I like traveling, because I enjoy meeting people along the way. And, but there's still a reserved and, shy side of me as well in certain circumstances. But in general, that's the part that I enjoy about myself the most.
What is your star sign?
Taurus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, I could tell you so many stories, but my closest through my life, my closest friends that I've been very close to, their Taurus, literally. And it's interesting. My first love was a girl when I was 12 years old, and she was Taurus. I had two. One of my best friends, the first friend I made in Europe since I arrived here 20 years ago, is Taurus. Another good friend as well. So I have three Taurus, like close friends in my life, that three of them I deeply fall in love. And nowadays, when I'm gonna meet someone, if I go out and I meet someone, and I go like, what's star sign? When they say Taurus, like I go like, you know what? You're meant to become best friends. It's not gonna go anywhere.
What's your sign?
Scorpio.
Ah, interesting. I should be afraid. No, it's interesting because you never know. Like it's Taurus, and then the next sign is Sagittarius, and then the third one is Virgo. So it's moon and rising or whatever. So it's Taurus, Sagittarius, Virgo. So whatever that combination, that's what probably allows some of us to get along very, very well.
My second one is Sagittarius, actually. My second
really?
sign. Yeah. My second one. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next one, I could see your eyes shine in talking about your husband. Tell me, how did you guys meet up? He's from California as well?
Yeah, no, he was, we were both part of a group called the IGLTA, International Gay and Lesbian Travel Association. So I was on the board. He had just come on his staff. So it's a little scandalous, but there was nothing that could keep us apart. So we met at the very beginning when he worked, and had a torrid love affair. But he was living in Fort Lauderdale and I was living in Los Angeles. And but I will give him a lot of credit that he's got he was very persistent and had a lot of perseverance. So he helped keep things moving along, and here we are, happily married all these years later.
Who fell in love first?
Oh, I think it was the same. I think it was mutual at the same time.
Saying that, you mentioned already before about the biggest difference between both of you, but what is the biggest similarity?
We have quite a few. Love of food, love of travel, and we're I don't know how to explain it, but we're just very much on a very similar wavelength sometimes. And so I think that helps. And sometimes I swear he's reading my mind, and he can just pull my thoughts out before I even say them, which is a little scary sometimes.
So be careful what you're thinking.
Exactly.
Next question is, who in your family you trade place with, and why?
In my family?
Yeah, if you could trade place, let's say for 24 hours, for one reason or another, who that would be?
Yeah, I don't think anyone. So that one may not work for me. I should have somebody, but no.
And if I go a little bit deep in the question, who in your family you feel more close to?
Maybe my sister. My sister, she's younger than me by 5 years, and she and I we've always had a very close relationship all our lives.
See. Next one. Let's do it. Next question is, do you have any pet peeves?
I think when like a lot of us little gay boys, when we were young, we used to get picked on and bullied and so forth. And so I think, especially in today's world where bullying is such at the forefront, anytime I see someone kind of picking on someone or just trying to push them around a little bit and so forth, and that's always one of my pet peeves. Treating other people poorly. I think that's like one of the first things that I very much dislike about when I see.
Yeah, the funny thing is, it's the gay, the Pride Month now. You can see so many, in the streets. Today this morning I was walking, I could see so many people dressing up and showing, it's everywhere right now. It's everywhere. Do you are in Orlando right now? Do you feel the same as well? Do you feel the city celebrating already?
I'm sorry?
You said that you are in Orlando right now, yeah, in Florida.
Orlando, yes, yes.
Orlando. Do you see that the city is already, in a game, you know what I mean, like
Oh,
mood
yeah.
or
Yeah, at least the people are. You see a lot of the people everywhere arriving here because it's such a big deal for gay days to be here in Florida. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
sure. I have three questions left for you. Let's do
Okay.
it. For the next one, tell me what do you miss the most from your engineer career?
I've always loved. I was a nerdy little math guy, and so I've always loved like building things and understanding how things work and so forth. And so it was a natural for me to kind of go in that direction to become an engineer and get my degree.
Okay. Next question is, what is the funniest gift have you ever received?
Dildos. I received a 3-pack of dildos when I was young, in my 20s from my straight friends. They had no idea that I was even gay yet, or they were. So we had so much fun with those, and I probably shouldn't have, but we did.
Most of your best friends, they live in California?
Yeah. Most of the people that I grew up with and so forth that I still stay in touch with.
Let's see. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Matt, you are very easy answering questions. My goodness. Just like people watch the interview right now. Maybe they would like to contact you, because of your company. They would like to work with you. Tell me something that, something unique about your business that people, they can relate to, that they can, contact you and they cannot find maybe no one else.
Yeah, usually it's because, the companies are thinking, even small or large, they're thinking, I've got to advertise, I got to promote myself and get the word out. Everything we do is helping them understand that they probably have a story to tell. And so we work with them to try to figure out, what's your story to tell, whether it's a story about a book release or it's a story about a show, whatever it is. And let's get that story out there. And that story could be told through written word, through video, whatever it is, but let's get the story out there. And so we're unique in the sense that we work with companies to get their story, put it out, and get it out in front of the right audience. So it's all about being able to figure out, like, who do you don't want to reach all gay people, you don't want to reach all lesbians, who do you want to really reach? And so we really kind of hold their hand and walk them through that process.
Amazing. Next question is, describe yourself in one positive word and one negative word only.
One positive word would be what's the best one for that? I would just say open. Like open and open to new ideas, open to new people, open to everything. And one negative would be patience. I don't have a lot of patience for and can easily not get mad, but just kind of get bored and just kind of move on from a conversation if it's just not going anywhere.
Amazing. Ready for the last question?
Yes.
Last one. Let's do it. Before the last question, Matt, tell me, 2020, the world literally went upside down, because of the COVID crisis. Personally, for you, what's the biggest positive impact that brought to your personal life, through that challenge journey?
It's probably, I would say, personal and professional. I would say 2 things. Number one, COVID made it so that people were much more comfortable with Zoom, which we're doing right now. This whole Zoom world was growing, but very, very slowly. And so now all of a sudden, look, here we are. Everyone's comfortable to be able to log on, and I feel like I'm connecting with you. It's not like of course, being in person with you would have been even better, but this is not a bad substitute. And then in that world of video and Zoom for personal and professional, the whole idea about remote work has changed people's professional and personal lives. And so the whole idea that you could live, you don't have to live in the city and go to the office every day, but you can live in the United States, you can live in places like Bend, Oregon, or where I live in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And you can live in these places and not feel disconnected from the world that you left, the bigger city. And you could live in these places, work and live and so forth. And even like for my husband, now that he's able to remote work, that takes the stigma away from it. And so all of a sudden now it's changed both of our lives. And so that way we can actually travel more because now he's able to work remotely while traveling, and he just makes sure he keeps good office hours. So all of that would have never happened if it wasn't for the pandemic, I think.
Right. Last question for you is, what do you miss the most from your childhood and why?
Oh, just the simplicity of never having to think about all the things that, of course, when you're a child, you don't know or think, you don't realize these things. But as I've grown up, I'm like, oh, it was simpler back then. Not the society at large, but just my life, as kids' lives are, and you see that when you're around other kids. And sometimes because I've gotten so into everything that I'm doing work-wise and in life, and I just think like, maybe that goes back to your question about being able to turn it off, since I don't turn it off. So maybe I miss being just a little youngster.
Right. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Let's start with money.
Success.
Family.
Love.
One word for life.
Magnificent.
Sex.
Hot.
Love.
Which word?
Love.
Love?
Love, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Love. Husband.
Sweet. Politics.
Crazy.
Religion.
Annoying.
Fear.
Necessary.
Friendship.
Wonderful.
Desire.
Gustoso.
What that means.
Oh, it's so hot.
Regret.
None.
Success.
Love it.
Wish.
More money.
Happiness.
Habit.
Just something on the sides. You said happiness, more money. I'm sure we're gonna get the matchbox together, like over the moon. For sure, more money is gonna come. Okay, just remember that. Just remember that.
I shall.
It's gonna be on the side. Back to the game now. One word for California.
Home.
One word for New York.
Prosperity.
USA. One word.
Turmoil.
And the last one now. Pink Media. Okay, the name of your company is Pink Media LGBTQ.
Well, just Pink Media and with the website. Yeah.
Right. So one word for Pink Media.
One word. Just there's so many good ones I want to choose. But again, success.
See. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely husband for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him, what is the most beautiful thing about Matt, and what's something that he still needs to work on to improve on? What he would say?
He loves my love of people, my love of life. He likes but of course I drive him crazy every single day when we're together. So which one would be his top one? I think sometimes he wants me to make sure I'm not becoming like a grumpy old man.
Good. Let's play now, Matt, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, you can ask me a question now.
What does success mean for you with your business?
With the business?
Yeah.
Right. So for me, what success means is, first of all, success is very personal. I think all of us, we have different ways of approaching and dealing with success. At the same time as well, for me, as you said about money, of course, success, when you think about something, success, of course, is related to money, to success, for you to get, your dreams and everything out. But for me, the main thing as well about success is for you to get there, yeah, with the money or with this, all the, the privilege that you're going to get, but at the same time as well, enjoying the journey. You know what I mean? You're going together, you get there, you know what I mean? You not think about the end goal. Of course, always going to be there, but go around the journey, enjoy the journey, like step by step, with the mistakes, with the success, with the knowledge, everything comes along. So for me, the whole thing about success is about you work together with the joy and also with the business. I think that's the success. I think people, when they do what they love and they see things going in the right direction, I think is the best feeling that everyone can have. So yeah, that's the meaning of success for me.
Excellent.
Did you enjoy the interview? Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Thanks so much for taking the time for the interview today. And before we go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Yeah. I would just say, whenever you have decisions to make in life, and you're wondering like which direction I should go, just always follow your heart. Your heart will always give you the right answer.
Totally agree as well. Totally agree. Thank you so much. Regards to your husband, and you keep in touch for sure. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Enjoy your weekend. Bye bye. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.